Hello everyone and welcome, it's Chloe here from the Chloe Bruce Academy, and today we're going to do a stretching yoga flow into splits. The best way to take this class is to be warm before you take part, so do a quick 5-10 minute warm up and then you're good to go. So find a space where you can stretch and move today, and we're going to start this class standing. We're going to place our hands on our hips and we're just going to rock side to side. Just starting to slowly get the motion moving within the hips and the pelvis. Good. Really lean deep into the sides. Perfect. Good. And then when you've done around 8 of those on each side, we're going to move forward and back. So transition through neutral, and then we're going to just slight move forward with the hips and back. Okay. Not too much because we don't want to go into a back bend here. Just literally tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards. Good. And again, once you've done around 8 of these, forward and 8 back, we're going to do really big hip circles, okay? So we're going to start at the back, take it through the side, front, opposite side and back. And then we're going to go the other way. Really wide with this hip motion. Good, going through the 4 points that we covered just now. We're going to aim to do 8 to 10 of these, both directions. Good. As you can see, the hips are loosening up. Just maybe take it that little bit wider, starting to take it just slightly into the hamstrings when we lean forward. And then into the hip flexors when we go back. Just one more of these on each side. Good, and come to neutral. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do is just a simple knee lift, but instead of just bringing it to here like we normally do, I really want you to lean through, tilt the back slightly and lean back, okay? Really stretching that standing leg, the hip flexing the standing leg. So if I just show you from the side, when I bring my knee up, I really thrust those hips forward, stretching through the hip flexor here, before coming back down. And this will really help with standing splits and also forward splits on the floor. So we're going to do 8 of these on each leg. Let's go. Good, we'll do 2 more of those on each side. Okay, so find something in your home, either a yoga block or a brick, or stand on the stairs. Okay, and we're just going to stretch out the calf muscles. This is a really important muscle to stretch, to really stretch out the back of the legs, okay? Hamstrings, the glutes, and then into the calf muscles, because a lot of people forget the calves and wonder why their hamstrings feel so tight, but sometimes it's actually the calf muscles that are tight and not the hamstring. Good, so once you have your block, you can put it next to a wall if you have one close by. Place your hands on the wall, your toes onto the block, and then from there you're just going to stretch the calf muscle out and alternate sides. So hold for a few seconds and then switch. And we're going to aim to do around 6 to 8 of these on each side. Just have a play around in your own time. No rush here at all. Good, we'll just do one more of those on each side. Okay, now I want you to come down and join me on the floor, and we're going to go onto all fours. So we're going to come through here, hands stacked under your shoulders, knees stacked under your hips, and we're really going to work the range of motion within your hips for this next few minutes. So first I want you to place your left knee into the center of your hands, and then we're going to lift the right leg up. Now we're going to come up here, down, out, round. So again, I'll show you one more time. We're going to come up, down, side, round. And I want you to take those as wide as you can. We're going to do 8 of those on each side. Let's go. Good, and when you're ready, switch sides. So bring opposite knee into the center of the hands, and let's go again. Good. And when you've done your 8, I just want you to come through into seated. Now, when you're doing box splits, I want you to think of the external rotation within the hips, okay? So externally rotating my hips would be doing this, okay? And then internally rotating my hips would be where the knee moves in towards my center line. So to work the external rotation, we're just going to do a figure of 4. So what you're going to do is take your hands behind you, lift one knee up, and we're going to place that shin bone across the top of the opposite leg, like so. Now, where I am right now, for me, I can't feel the stretch that deep, okay? So I'm going to bring my hips towards that front foot. So I'm just going to walk my hands in, lift up, and then move in towards that front foot. So the closer this leg is towards my chest, okay, the more intense the stretch will be. So find your place where there's a little discomfort but no pain. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds. Good. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing on the opposite side. Again, find the distance because each hip will feel slightly different. You may be able to come closer on this side or you may have to take it a little bit further away. Okay, have a play around. And then when you've found your place, we're going to hold for a further 30 seconds. Very good, guys. And come back down. So moving on with the range of motion, we're just going to do a simple rotational exercise, okay? So again, take your hands behind you and you're going to just let your legs fall down in this position, okay? So like 90-degree angles. And then I want you to just switch sides back and forth. So I'm going to go external rotation, internal rotation, okay? And just work through the hips and have a play around. I want you to do around 8 of these on each side. So make sure that the legs work independently. So it goes external, internal, external, internal, okay? Good. Now, when you've done around 8 on each side, I want you to come through and place your feet sole to sole, okay? And I want you to leave it in this diamond shape for a second. Just rest your hands upon your legs, and I want you to play around with the tilting position of your pelvis and your hips. So I want you to play around with the anterior tilt and the posterior tilt, just to show you exactly what I mean. So the anterior tilt is when your hips are tilting forward, and the posterior tilt is when your hips are tilting backwards. So I just want you to play around with the tilt position of the hips within this stretch for now, okay? Again, we're just working the range of motion within the hips. then you can start making that bigger if you wish. Come forward into this stretch. Good, and when you're ready, I want you to drive your heels in towards your sit bones, clasp your hands around your feet, and then try and push your knees out as wide as you can, aiming obviously to reach the floor. You can stay up nice and tall here, or feel free to just work your way forward. You can walk your hands forward to here, you can hold the soles of your feet, you can push out on your knees if you wish, entirely up to you. But we're going to stay here for 30 seconds. Work with a breath here, real deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And on every exhalation, just try and move a little deeper into the stretch. Good, and then work your way up when you're ready. Perfect, guys. Okay, so moving on. Almost there. We are going into our frog pose, which is one of my most favorite go-to exercises to prep for box splits. So grab yourself some bricks or pillows if you have them nearby, just to make this stretch as bearable as possible. Okay, we've got people tuning in with all different levels of flexibility, so I'm going to show different variations for each level. So first off, just place your bricks, your blocks or your pillows in front of you. Okay, and have them quite high to start with. And we're just going to open up into our frog stretch. So our knees come wide of the mat, feet at 90-degree angle, and we're going to just lean onto the blocks or the pillows, okay? Now you can stay up tall like this, or you can come down onto your forearms, or you can turn the blocks flat, like so. You can hug your pillow if you've got a pillow nearby. So you now have the choice of remaining static here and working a real deep static stretch, or you can move within the stretch. So if I'm not quite in my frog pose just yet, it might feel nice and rewarding to move forward and back. So you can be upright like this and move forward and back within the stretch, or you can come onto your forearms the same way. Some people might find this unbearable, in which case you just do the static stretch, but others might feel it quite rewarding and find the benefit in doing so. Again, breathe deeply within this stretch. If you're flat on the floor here within the frog stretch, you might feel a benefit from stretching side to side. So you can just walk around to one knee and then back to the opposite side. So you're working a nice lateral stretch at the same time. And when you're ready, just come up out of that position and then work your way through to straddle. So we're going to straddle our legs up nice and wide, okay? And here's where we're going to work our box split. Key point here is to keep a nice straight back and an anterior tilt within your hips. I don't want to see this, okay? Because this isn't going to achieve anything other than a sore back. So we're going to push the hips forward into an anterior tilt, and we're going to keep that nice flat back. If this is all you have today, just stay here, it's absolutely fine. And we're going to work this stretch forward. If you can walk your bricks forward, then please do. And we're going to stay here. Like I said earlier, everyone tuning in is completely different levels within their flexibility journey, and it's entirely up to you how deep you want to go today. So some people might want to come onto their forearms, again ensuring they've got that nice flat back. Place your bricks up. We're going to just rock the hip positioning like we did earlier. So we're going to go from a posterior tilt to an anterior tilt. And you can use the feet as well to just help drive your hips forward and back. Just really working the momentum and the range of motion within your hips. We'll do 10 of these, forward and back. Good. If you don't have any blocks, you can place one hand in front, one hand behind, and just rock between the hands. Perfect. And then we're going to just walk our bricks forward as far as we can, or our pillows, okay? Entirely up to you. Like I said, we've got different people of different levels here. You can come onto your forearms if you wish. Again, maintaining that flat back, anterior tilt. Good. If you're finding it hard to get into a pancake, so when I say pancake, there's different ways of doing box splits. So obviously, there's this version where your feet are up at the side. There's the pancake version where your hips tilt over, your feet come flat, and then that's when you can come down like so, okay? If you're working your pancake but you're not quite there yet, you can do this kind of stretch. So if I want to get flat but I can't get the hips over, you can come up onto your forearms and then back again. So you can rock backwards and forwards like so, or up onto your hands and then back again, okay? And that will really help get that tilt for the anterior tilt for the pancake version of box splits. We're now going to go side to side. You can use your block here. Okay, either side. So you can come down onto your block and just work the range of motion laterally like so. Or you can come here and stay upright. Or you can get rid of the blocks completely and then come down onto your forearms if you want a deeper stretch here. Good. And then obviously that aim is to touch the toes on the opposite side. And when we've done around 8 to 10 of those, the last stretch we're going to do is pull forward. So we're going to turn the hips as much as we can towards this leg and then just walk our hands out towards that bottom foot. And then back up, turn sides and down. Perfect. And remember guys, if you need to go at a slower pace, please feel free. I'm just showing you the way there. Good. Okay, one more time, we're going to push and dig deep and move forward, okay? So try and get in that nice alignment with the box splits. So use your pillow, your blocks, your bricks, keep the nice flat back, tilt your hips forward, and we're going to just hold for the last 30 seconds of today. Very, very good, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little flow into splits. If you find it beneficial, then share because someone else might too. If you're not quite in your box splits yet, please don't get disheartened. It can take time. It can take months, it can take years, okay? It's something that you will need to commit to and persevere with it and really push your stretching hard. Be consistent with your stretching. Consistency is key. Keep stretching, keep kicking, and I'll catch you next time. See you then, guys. Bye.